I thought it was time that we react to some more memes. We recently had, the long video about Autism Speaks and some of the dark things from their past, all of that kind of stuff. I think it's nice to balance it out, have some lighter content sometime. So we are going to do some more autism memes from my Discord server today, which is connected to my Patreon. Sometimes people ask, where's the Discord? It's connected to my Patreon. So if you join that, then you join the Discord server as well. We have a memes channel in there. So if you have good memes that you want me to react to, feel free to join. You don't have to. And you can always enjoy the memes this way through the channel. Let's rank the memes. Let's find out if my Discord server is as funny as it usually is. Because apparently, I mentioned that article recently that was like, Einstein couldn't have been autistic because Einstein was funny. If you spend 2 seconds on my Discord server, you do realize that being autistic and funny do actually go together. What if we kissed at Autism Peak? Autism Peak! It's like, I thought it was going to be something related to Autism Speaks when I looked at it quickly, but it's not Autism Speaks, it's Autism Peak. I'm Googling that. What is Autism Peak? Autism Peak. Okay, so this is a post from our Autism. What if we kissed at Autism Peak? Peak Autism right there is the top comment. I visited peak autism quite frequently throughout my lifetime. Never gets old, in quotation marks, traveling there. We don't talk about autism peaks, someone says. Someone says autism peak is fine, but that other thing, I suggest using fire. It'd be awkward, someone says. The what if we kissed thing. Meh, who cares, YOLO. Wait, but that's outside. We don't do that there. This is immense. I want to know, maps. Does it actually exist? Autism peak. I've just got peak parenting power autism has come up. Iraq? There's a place in Iraq. Can I street view? This doesn't look like the same place. Might be. I've been dropped into a road. I don't know where I am. Autism Nature Trail in New York. I don't know, yeah. Autism Peak, just right there in Baghdad. Is that the right autism? What is the autism peak? At what age does autism peak? Someone has searched, shall we see? In fact, research has shown that autism symptoms tend to peak around the ages of 2 to 3 years old. Did your autism symptoms peak at 2 to 3 years old? We've already passed our prime by the time we turn 4. I think, is that just the age where you stim quite a lot? For me anyway. Yeah, that is an age where, stereotypically people were picked up as being autistic. And that's why the whole vaccine autism thing started, because it's kind of around that age that you get some of your main vaccines. So that's where like a lot of my stimming footage does come from, that age of 2 to 3. I guess you just haven't learned enough about how to be social, so you maybe just aren't stopping yourself from stimming at all. And also, like, it's fine to just ignore people. Like, my mom asks me questions and I just ignore her, and it's so weird for me to watch as somebody who has a child who isn't autistic, who would just always respond no matter what he was doing, whereas I'm just like in my own world, which just looks kind of cute and like you're playing and like fine, which, it is fine. There's nothing particularly wrong with that. My mum wasn't offended that, a 3-year-old child didn't respond to her. But if I'd not been responding like that when I was like 6 or 7, then she may very well have been offended by that. So yeah, I just think you haven't learned any social rules yet. So you're kind of just being yourself. So maybe 2 to 3 years old is peak autism. And then that's really hard when you're older and you're trying to figure out whether you're autistic or not. If you don't have like that home video footage and your parents don't remember a lot, your autistic traits could have been super obvious in your behavior, but you just maybe don't have a record of it. It's really frustrating, yeah. Because if I didn't have video of the hand flapping, I'd be like, oh yeah, I remember a lot of people talk about, I did used to flap my hands when I was a child, and I know I still flap objects and stuff now, but like, yeah, it was very useful to have that footage. If anybody knows anything about Autism Peak, I would love to know your comments. I think we'll have to rate that one a 2 to 3 years old out of 10, because that is when we peak. We've all peaked. We're all past our peak. Maybe that's freeing, like we've been past it. We've been the best that we're ever gonna be, 2 to 3 years old. Now we're free. I'd like to think I've still not hit my peak. I think I have, haven't I? Over 25 now. I've gone over the hill. Basically, we already established in the video about the Neurospicy song that I am decrepit old millennial in galaxy leggings, so there is no hope for me. This is from Twitter user Invisible Strings. Is that a Taylor Swift reference? Because I have Taylor Swift Midnight Rain earrings today. They kind of like make a little pitter-patter sound when you move them. Hey, somebody was saying in Discord that I need to do like earrings ASMR, because I said when I like move my head I worry that they're jingling too much, but then luckily the mic doesn't pick it up. It's okay, but maybe we should. I kind of hate ASMR. That's a topic for another day. I don't know whether that would do it for me ASMR wise. It's very individual, and when you're dealing with people who have sensory differences, probably not worth it. I'm not going to become an ASMR channel, I don't think. In the last few decades, we have detected thousands of planets outside of our solar system. They did not suddenly appear at the time we found them. No one calls it an exoplanet epidemic. Planets were always there, just previously undiscovered. This is a tweet about autism. Oh my gosh! That's like poetry. I don't know why it makes me feel like I want to cry. That's so good. I'm going to screenshot that. Why is this tweet so validating? while it being about space. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's so true. Oh, I love that so much. I'm gonna give that a 100 out of 10, which is impossible. So basically a 10 out of 10, but you know, I'm gonna say 100 out of 10. I think there is a problem with like people who are later diagnosed. And even me, who has this channel called I'm Autistic Now What, I still do deal with imposter syndrome. I think of like, if we're really autistic, wouldn't you have been picked up as a child and things like that? But it's like, we didn't know as much as we know then. But I was still autistic, and I still relate very much to people who were diagnosed as a child, as a teen. I just wasn't, you know? And also, you know, probably the area that I was in, the income background that I come from, things like that. Like, we were never going to be looking at doing like private and stuff like that, you know? So it was always relying on these very, very stretched NHS services actually wanting to put any time into helping me, which, you know, I think they probably had people who were kind of in more need of help than I was, even though I was really, really struggling. Anyway, it's not your fault if you weren't diagnosed as a child. It doesn't mean you were less autistic. It just means that you weren't in the right place at the right time. And also, I think I was protected by my parents. I don't think they trusted those services. And I think I also didn't trust people enough to share things. Everyone is autistic now. Sees planes delayed, trains behind schedule, boats crashing into bridges. Me, I don't think so. Oh no, but what about the time-blind, PDA, ADHD, autistic people? What about them? Because if I run a train, it may unfortunately, I'm embarrassed to say, it may unfortunately be behind schedule. Some of us are actually a chaotic mess. I like things to go perfectly and go just right. Am I very good at executing that? No, not really. So yeah, I wouldn't put myself in charge of the train schedule and all of that. Boats crashing into bridges. I wonder if everybody was autistic, you know, what the world would look like. What would that be? What do we think an autistic world would be like? What would it be like if we took over the world? Let me know what you think. I'll give that one a not me out of 10 because unfortunately I'm terrible. I'm chaos. I'm a mess. I'm sorry. Okay, so we've got like the Jurassic World style with dinosaurs. This one is Tyrannosaurus. It's the first one with the trans flag in the background. Then we have Biceratops. Oh no, these are so cute. There's a website on it. Maybe they have like merch and stuff. I don't know. Pridosaurus.com. We're gonna have to go on and have a look. We'll have a look in a minute. Let's see what other Pridosauruses we have. Nombinosaurus. That's like a Spinosaurus. I think that's one of my favorite dinosaurs. I think I've said before in a previous video that my favorite dinosaur is probably a Carnotaurus because of Camp Cretaceous. Also just like the tiny arms, they're so ridiculous. It's kind of like so bad it's good. What do you think? What's your favorite dinosaur? Pankylosaurus. It's an ankylosaurus, but it's pan. Ah! Oh, it's such pretty colors as well. Oh no, Archaeopteryx. Archaeopteryx. That's cool, because thank goodness I have a young son so I can kind of pronounce dinosaur names. This is a dinosaur name that I really struggle to say. It's Quetzalcoatl. Oh my god, I can't say it.
Quetzalcoatlus.
And then we've got Stegosaurus instead of Stegosaurus. Stegosaurus. Oh, the colours are so happy. Plesiosaurus instead of Plesiosaurus. These are amazing. Pterodactyl, but like intersects in pterodactyl. Oh my gosh. Allosaurus instead of Allosaurus. Oh no. Those are so perfect. I love them so much. I think they're getting a 10 out of 10. They're amazing. Let's have a look at Pridosaurus.com. What is Pridosaurus.com? Do they have merch? Prehistoric pride pins and patches. They have merch. They have stickers. They have shirts. Sorry, everyone. This turned into an accidental ad read. I'm sorry. Oh, I really want to do some like fun merch or something soon. I just need some more time. Oh my gosh, there's even more. Arrosaurus. There's Polycephalosaurus. Instead of Iguanodon, there's an Agendodon. Demetrodon is just Of course, Demetrodon is just Demetrodon. It's like demisexual. So is that mine? That's me. I'm the Demetrodon. Okay, I'll take it. I'll have it. It's fine. So then Lewis has screenshotted. The person who shared it said, they're not mine, unfortunately. I found them on Facebook, shared by the artist. I wish I had one iota of this creativity. They are so good. Wow. And then they've shared the Instagram names of the artists. Oh my gosh, I love them so much. They're so cute. That's an absolute 10 out of 10. That's one of my favorite things I've ever seen. Oh, that's made me happy. I don't know. Why are dinosaurs like so cute? Because they were like, a lot of them were horrendous. Like me saying like, oh, Carnotaurus is my favorite. Like, They weren't really that cute, were they? Well, maybe they were. Maybe they were pink and fluffy. We don't know. We don't know. Oh, we got some waffles. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. The same for the 999th time. My autistic ass. Oh, the cat looks like it's smiling. It looks so cheeky. Oh my gosh, that's such a cute cat. Those waffles look really, really good. I kind of want waffles now. Do we still have our waffle maker? I hope we do. It's one of these things like a toasty maker where it just sits in your cupboard. I think we got rid of our toasty maker. I think we donated it because it just will come out for a short time. You'll have a little toasty phase and then it goes back in again. Protein waffles, like waffles with protein powder in. Vegan protein waffles with some vegan ice cream. Maybe even vegan bacon if you're feeling adventurous. Very, very, very good. Oh no, then someone else has posted it. The same for the same time, my autistic ass. Okay, then somebody on Discord has replied and edited the meme, so it says the same meme for the 999th time, my autistic ass. Oh no, it's like a whole thread. Then someone else has responded with this meme, my ADHD ass, the same meme for the 999th time. Is this a new meme? So forgetting you've already seen a meme. Oh no. I'm just terrible with memes in general. I think because I spend so much time in my little like the hyper-focused state focusing on whatever I'm focusing on, I think I just miss things. Like there are loads of internet references that I just don't know. And my husband's like, you've never seen that meme before. And I'm like, no, I've never seen that meme before. And I feel really dumb. And it's just ridiculous because since I was about 4 years old, I've been glued to the computer. Since I was on Ollie's Drawer Story when I was 4 years old. So like I should technically know about internet-y stuff. And it's like, I'm just in my little hole and I don't go out of it. The same for the autism. I assume that's how I should read that. Oh, and then someone said, I love you all. Oh, this is the things I miss out on by not going in the memes channel. That was funny. Oh, I'll give that a wholesome out of 10. That was great. I just love the Discord community. I feel like I can't really say it without sounding like an ad in these videos, but like it's perfect the way it is. So I don't necessarily, need a whole bunch of more people to join. I love it the way it is, but I also don't want to gatekeep it either because it is a great space and it is lovely that people are able to interact with, other autistic and other neurodivergent people as well. I just found it so nice for myself. I wish I got more time in the Discord server than I do, often because I'm actually, making the videos. I love it so much. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. And you are all very funny. According to that person who wrote that article, that might mean you're not autistic though. I don't know. Oh no, it's a potato. It's so cute. Introverts, when they tell a joke to a large group of people and everyone actually laughs out loud. Local potato happy today. Breaking news. Oh, sometimes, which I'm sure a lot of autistic people can relate to, I'll say something and it's not actually meant as a joke and then everyone laughs and I'm like, still did well, even if I didn't actually entirely mean it as a joke. Still got some social points there, so I'll take it. I'll take your laughter. I'll accept it. I'm gonna give that one a cute. I'm gonna give you a cute potato out of 10. What is it about potatoes? They are kind of cute. There is something cute about potatoes. I don't know why. Is it because they make kind of like comfort foods? They have a comforting vibe. Don't know what it is. Okay, what's this? We've got a skeleton again. I feel like we so often have skeletons in these. Just walk out. You can leave. If it sucks, hit the brakes. Real winners quit. Work, social thing, movies, home, class, dentist, clothes shoppy, too fancy weed store, cops if you're quick, wrong your friend, spaceships, friendships. Just walk out, you can leave so you can walk out of work, social thing, movies, home. I mean, you can walk out of your home, that's true. Class, dentist. Imagine just walk out in the middle of a dentist appointment. I've had enough now, I'm done. Clothes shoppy, too fancy weed store, cops if you're quick. I'm so confused by this. If it's so, hit the brick. I thought it said hit the brakes. Hit the brick. Real winners quit. I mean, yeah, you know what? If you were having a panic attack at the dentist, I would say, yep, it's within your right to say something and leave. I have got myself into some pretty terrible situations by not wanting to speak up and say, no, this is too much. Like the whole fawning, people pleasing thing. I can no longer go to the hairdressers and put my hair back in the basin because I now have a kind of neck problem. Hey, maybe somebody can help me with this. I'm just thinking. I think it was in December 2021. I went to get my hair cut at this hairdresser that had been recommended to me by somebody, and it was just a horrible experience. It was the worst vibe I've ever had. I felt like I'd stepped into some like dark parallel universe. It was just a horrible feeling in there. I guess like nobody really smiled. It didn't feel like what it usually feels like to go to a hairdresser, and I don't like going to the hairdressers anyway. In general, I never have done. But anyway, I had my hair washed at the basin, where you put your head back, and unfortunately it was somebody who was very young, and I think they must have just been kind of helping out, or they were a trainee or something. something and the bass was too low. And I only realized this like midway through. It started to get really, really difficult. I felt like my neck was really straining and it was getting quite painful. I had a mask on. I didn't know how to say, with like the water running, it was loud in the room, and the mask on, I didn't know how to say, this is really painful, and it was unbearable. And so I just sucked it up and pushed down this horrible feeling in my neck. And then I thought, that was funny. And then I just had my hair cut, everything felt fine. And then the next day, unfortunately, I woke up with an absolutely horrendous headache and nothing would get rid of it. And then that lasted like for weeks. I thought I was gonna die because I looked it up, and apparently it can be very, very dangerous. It was kind of almost like I had a whiplash injury. I still have problems with my neck now. It's 2024. Every time I've seen a doctor, they've just been kind of like apathetic, and neck's hard to fix, probably will go away. If you're not fainting all the time, I think you're okay. So I just have to trust that I'm okay. When did we get into that tangent? Just walk out, you can leave. That is what I needed to be told. I should have taken off my mask. Well, maybe not. It was COVID. Maybe not. I should have spoken up. The combination of it being a loud room with hair dryers going and a mask on my face, and also just being socially anxious. I had no idea how to get out of that situation, but I should have done everything in my power to get out of that situation. So am I going to rate that one? That one confused me. I'm going to rate that confusion out of 10. Confusion, but yes, out of 10. Kind of get it, kind of don't get it at all. That's often how I feel with memes. Autism is just asking, do you hear, smell, feel that, and being met with confusion or denial every single time until you die? Yes, this is so weird. This is 10 out of 10. This is so weird. And my husband, literally, when he just saved these memes, I said something about something I could smell. I can't remember what it was. I think it was smell. And he was like going to say, oh, I can't smell that, or I can't hear that, or whatever it was. And then he was like, oh, I literally just shared a meme about that, so I'm not going to say it. But he does still say it all the time. And I'm like, well, duh, like, it's not surprising that you don't smell it or taste it. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It can lead to you kind of feeling gaslit a lot of the time. I don't think people necessarily mean it, particularly if you don't know that you're autistic. You don't have any confirmation that your sensory experience is different. So you're just like, oh, okay, I must be going mad. I felt like I was always a very negative, very cynical person. That kind of was how I was made to feel. My mom is a very like glass half full person, very like overly optimistic and positive, to a point where it doesn't really feel that rational sometimes to me. And I'm like, So we can kind of clash with that a little bit. Like, I'll be having a hard time and she'll start giving me loads of advice, or being like acting like, you know, I'm being too negative and I'm making everything really like much darker than it needs to be, which I can do because I have a tendency towards a lot of anxiety, and I tend to feel like, oh my god, I'm going to die, the world is ending all of the time. So it just, that energy often clashes, and we do end up arguing quite a lot. Yeah, when I was younger, there was kind of a sense of like, oh, Meg just complains and grumbles all the time about everything around her. That's why it's just super validating to find out that you're autistic. You're like, oh yeah, there was a reason, but like I was actually experiencing things slightly differently, and that's okay. I did complain a lot as a child. Like I say, when I came home from school, the first thing I'd say every day was, it stinks. I wasn't very like tactful with it necessarily always. Just like a lot of times when I was younger, I don't know if anyone can relate to this, I just feel tired. Like I just go out somewhere for a few hours and I come back feeling exhausted. Or there'd be certain activities where I'd just be like, oh, that makes me feel tired. Like getting into the shower when I was a teenager and all the steps involved in that and getting ready, I was just like, oh, it just made me feel so heavy. Just so many steps and so many transitions, and, you know, sensory hell, like your wet hair on your back when you get out of the shower. That kind of thing would have just made me feel like tired. Me as a teenager thinking I was going to be great at Guitar Hero presses buttons dyspraxically. That penguin's so cute. So I do have a dyspraxia diagnosis as well. I'll leave my video linked about dyspraxia. So, you know, if you are an autistic person who struggles with coordination and movement, then you might find that relatable. I mean, I think a lot of studies showed that a lot of autistic people do struggle with movement as well. Maybe it is something that's kind of inherent to being autistic, but I think having the separate diagnosis can sometimes be helpful if you want to, you know, convey that information to people. You know, maybe you just want to disclose that area that you struggle with. Did I ever try Guitar Hero? I think my cousin had Guitar Hero and I think I did try. I don't think I was very good. In general, like my coordination on video games and stuff is not great. I'm not particularly wonderful at them, but I haven't spent that much time playing them. The game that I played the most was The Sims. I did really well on Slender once. Did I complete it? Right? I was very happy because I hadn't played it that much. Did I get all notes? I either did or I got one short. There's my peak gamer moment there. That sounds ridiculous. I'm gonna give that one a sparkly silver guitar out of 10. So me as a teen, I need to learn to hide all my mental health issues and neurodivergent traits so that I can be socially accepted. Me as an adult, well shit, how do I undo all of that? Oh no, it's so relatable, it's painful. I'm gonna give this a painful out of 10. It's really hard. I definitely want to make more content about unmasking. It's definitely a journey that I'm still going on about myself, so I certainly do not have all of the answers, but I think it could be nice to kind of figure things out together for sure. Adult life may be difficult, but at least we don't have to do PE anymore. Yep, that's so true. That is so true. I'm gonna give that one a yay out of 10. I often feel like, oh my gosh, if you put me back into high school, I would not want to be here anymore. No wonder I was so miserable and depressed while I was there. Completely relate. I would feel exactly the same now. I'm sure a lot of adults would feel the same. It's like being in prison. I mean, I've never been in prison. I'm sure prison is worse. You can't go home at the end of the day. Somebody asked me on my Patreon, I do like a Q&A/autistic advice sort of thing where people can send in problems, but then also just general questions. And someone was like, how would you change PE for autistic people? Somebody mentioned in the comments like picking teams, and I forgot to say like, oh my gosh, yeah, that should not be a thing, like people picking teams. I feel like that only happened at our school maybe like once or twice, but I was most certainly picked last, and it is so embarrassing. I don't know if people realize that there is so much shame, because not only is it a comment on your like sporting ability, like I was going to be last for that, but also in just like people wanting you on their team because they're your friend. Like I didn't have that either. I had neither of those things really, because I wasn't particularly well liked. I think I was definitely in like the last 4, I would say, if not absolutely last. I don't know. I used to do like this thing when I was younger for like a year where I like did a little vlog clip every day and I spoke about how my day had been, and there are so many where I'm just ranting about PE and these horrible things that happen that I have no memory of, and no, it was just horrible. Someone said, this is great. I think you should be allowed to cite scholars who are bad people, but only if you put the word oof or yikes in brackets after their name. Like Parker, yikes, 1989. Or oh, big oof, 2007. Freud, derogatory, 1923. Yeah, it's like when I have to, like, I'm reading something which is about Aspergers or something like that, you know, and it's like relevant in the context to use the word Aspergers, even though we don't want to use that word now because he wasn't a great guy, and also because it's just not accurate anymore. It's like, yeah, you should be able to say Asperger's brackets, yikes. I love it. I'm gonna give that an 8 out of 10. I don't understand why it isn't socially acceptable to choose to be nocturnal. The angry hot sky ball is gone. My internet is fast. Everyone finally shut up. What's not to like? I really prefer the nighttime, and it's so difficult when you have a child who has to go to school. It's like now you have to be up in the morning, so you can't just stay up all night. Me and Lewis mentioned it on our podcast that we do over on the Patreon, actually. He'd mentioned how we used to have dinner at like 11 p.m. and I'd completely forgotten that we did, because our sleeping schedule got so weird when we were just working for ourselves when we first moved out when we were like 19, and we used to have to work constantly because we were scrambling to try and make enough money with making this little business, because I didn't want to go out to work a normal job because I couldn't really see how I'd fit into that life, and I didn't understand why. Our sleeping schedule got all dodgy. This is the problem. Sometimes I'll accidentally have slipped into like a slightly better routine where I'm waking up earlier. Like when I went to Australia and I had jet lag, it resulted in me, you know, going to bed quite early because I was so tired, and then having a good routine for about 3 days of waking up super early. I just progressively, slowly will slip into being nocturnal again, and it just happens every time. And the problem is, it's just so good to be able to work at night, particularly if you have a child, even though you do have to be up early to take them to school, but because there are not any distractions at nighttime. Like I often have to stay up to script videos, to edit videos. It's bad the amount of time that I am staying up. It's not good for me at all. I definitely need some help with editing soon. Hopefully I might have got that sorted by the time you're watching this, because it's just becoming really, really hard. It's the only time where I get like full peace because I don't have a separate area to work in. I'm kind of working in my living room at the moment. Hopefully, you know, that will change. Seeing as we're being kicked out of this place, it's just peaceful. I don't feel as much pressure at night. It feels almost like stolen time. It feels less oppressive. I have less anxiety at night. I think something about me, like naturally, I think I have a body clock that's more suited to that. It feels like that anyway. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. Like less of that kind of like demand avoidance, sort of oppressive, there's a dark cloud of anxiety hovering over me. I have much less of that feeling by the end of the day. The more morning I often am not my best self, but then maybe that's because I've stayed up so late, so I haven't had enough sleep, so maybe that's why I'm not in a great mood. But even when I have had enough sleep, still not great. I don't like mornings, yeah. Don't like mornings. I'm gonna give that an owl out of 10. Thank you so much to everyone who did share the memes on the Discord. If you do want to join, then you can access the Discord server on any tier. There are different tiers and you get different stuffs for being on the different tiers. I'll leave the link in the description. You can go over to the Patreon and have a look. But even if you join the lowest $4 per month tier, you can still access the Discord server and chat to other autistic people, share your memes. It's a really lovely community. I am obviously very, very biased, but I do think it is a lovely space. Like, I never could have comprehended it being as amazing as it is. So thank you all so much. And if you want to watch another memes, I'll leave a link on screen to our last reaction. I'll link the playlist below. If you've not had a great day, or night, if it's night now when you're watching this, then maybe that might be nice for you to sit and watch. If you are in the mood for something a bit more serious, I do have a 41-minute video where I discuss Autism Speaks and their kind of rebrand attempt, their attempt at changing things up. Have they changed? All of that. I spent way too long scripting that one. I'll leave that linked if you think it might be something you'll enjoy. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video very soon. Bye.